Oh, I gotta look this up. Oh my god, yes, I will be talking about this. Greg Locke hosting a flat earth debate? Is that real? Oh, please tell me that's real. I'm not finding it. Wait a minute. Oh my god, wait. What's this? Oh my god, dude. This is new. Title is Pastor Greg Locke has challenged Pastor Dean Odell to a $30,000 public debate on flat earth. Really? Oh my god, I love it.
I don't know exactly what date it is. I'm going to let them choose that, and they'll be watching. And so the biggest people that are upset at me, and they're my friends, right? One of them is Pastor Dean Odell, right? He's a good man, and I've preached for him at a Skyfall conference, and I would again if he ever had me. Okay, so I love him. He's a good man, and he's a big proponent of the flat Earth theory, and he.
Oh wait, Odell is a flat earther, and Greg is not. Okay. Go on.
He's written a whole book on it, Clay Under the Seal, I believe it's called, and all that. So listen, so I won't...
Oh my god, dude, wait a minute. What's it called?
If he ever had me, okay? So I love him. He's a good man. And he's a big proponent of the flat Earth theory. And he's written a whole book on it, Clay Under the Seal, I believe it's called, and all that. So listen, so I want somebody to get this message to him, because this is important.
Okay, I wrote this down, and it's about Dean Odell? Pastor Dean Odell. Oh, you can bet I'm going to be talking about this at some point, and maybe even reading the book. Who knows?
Because I want to give the other side.
I'm assuming Greg is on the globular spheroid Earth side of the debate, right? I'm assuming. I don't know if that's even true. And he's telling me that he got attacked and vilified and all that other stuff because he came out as a round Earth proponent.
That's right.
What? I'm honestly kind of surprised. I thought for sure Greg Locke was going to be like a flat Earth proponent.
From the Bible. But to be...
Oh, it's going to be from the Bible. He's not even doing the scientific stuff. He's not even going to bother calculating it the way that the ancients did. You know, ancient Greeks, I think. It was.
You mean Plato and Ptolemy?
I don't know, like a 10-foot pole to, say, Egypt. I think there's one verse that says that the earth is round. Now, there were people around at the time who had a very strong theory and an explanation for the fact that the earth was a sphere. So it's not surprising to find that it said that it's round, but I can just about guarantee that this Odell guy, whatever his name is going to argue that the earth can be round and flat at the same time. It can just be circular but flat rather than, spherical. I bet that would be the dude's argument if this debate does happen. God, I hope it happens. Please let this happen.
Oh, it's happening.
It is happening. Now, the test is great. That was 4 minutes. To everybody. Oh, Pam G's in the chat. I'm checking the chat. We're doing the test. There's a couple of people in there. Same old numbers. The least watched, least viewed vlogcast podcast in the history of mankind. Fisherman in a box. I don't even know the name of my own channel. That's how small we are. I don't care. Anyway, they're in there. Good to see you, Pam. There's not that much lag time. Yeah, and Dan, this is Dan Weston, everybody from California. He's in Anaheim, home of the original Disneyland.
Mickey Mouse out here in New Sodom.
New Sodom. What did I used to call? I used to call it Pacifico, right?
All right.
Because I
Right.
figured once they could probably still, secede, right? Are there
If all,
any? Are there any? Is there any of that talk going on out there in California?
there was a couple of years ago a bunch of serious talk about it, but
Right.
like everything else, it never goes anywhere. And there's talk about dividing the state into three different states because we're the size of Japan
Yeah.
out here,
Yep.
California. So it's it could be divided into more than one state. Good Lord, I just pick whichever one Gavin Newsom wasn't running.
I know. Well, we don't
But
want to make this about politics today, but
no, you're right. Right.
boy, oh boy, this cat daddy, this Mac daddy here in the middle, I found him this morning because I was scrolling to see if any news agencies had, picked this story up, right? Especially out of Nashville, because God only knows Pastor Locke, and God bless him, and really God bless him for hosting this event. But
Absolutely. Yeah,
he
I'm
he has
excited.
he's made some noise within not only the local community, but I don't know whether they consider Mount Juliet, part of the metro there in Nashville or not, but it's close. It's close, and the media knows who he is. The law knows who he is. We did a
Uh,
piece earlier on him where he lied on the cops. He did a big old event. He was
now,
training people to be deliverance ministers, I guess. And
right.
they had 8,000 people show up, and they weren't ready for it. The law wasn't. They normally get like a cop or two to do their Sunday service. They
Yeah.
weren't ready for 8,000 people. Like I say, this weekend, Dan, can
Whoa.
you
It's
imagine?
yeah. That the merchants in that town are going to be sold out. I think wherever he's at. I mean, compared to what they're used to,
Right.
and they I'm sure it's just going to be. I mean, I just the ones I've seen talking about everybody heading over there. It's yeah, it's going to be big.
Yes. Well, I'm not
Charisma
familiar. Do you
Charisma
know
Magazine had an article about it. You see that?
who did?
Charisma Magazine, the Pentecostal publication that's uh, worldwide publication, had an article about this debate.
Wow.
Yeah, so the word is out.
Well, it's out, but you know what? The powers and principalities, the rulers of this realm, they're not going to do us any favors at
No,
all.
no, no, no.
And thank God for Greg for hosting this thing. I I think he could have probably used a calmer, gentler spirit, but that's just between him and God. But
Yep.
I understand zealousness. But wow,
What?
yeah, it'll be interesting. All right. Well, this was I had to shake the dust off of summer and my pheasant hunting and trying to fish in the fall and relax after, and it was a successful harvest. Huge, thank God.
Yeah,
Uh,
good.
Yep, it was wonderful. So it always takes a while to drag people back on and do all that stuff. Plus, I'm not on my normal hour of 8 a.m. Central Standard Time either, and it's Saturday. Plus, I think the SEC championship is today at 4 o'clock, right? Georgia, Alabama, right?
You got me.
Okay, sorry.
I don't follow college football. It's it's just something I never did get into. Usually,
Well,
I'm working Saturdays.
I still have a little bit of I got to live in it. I'm not of it, but I got to live here, so I'm gonna.
I get you.
I
I mean,
like.
I watch the NFL whenever I get a chance. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm not one of those. Oh my gosh, you can't watch sports kind of people.
Right,
But
right. Well, that's today too. So there's a lot of stuff going on uh,
yeah,
today. Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, I got no dog in this hunt, and I know after that Hail Mary with no time left on the clock and Alabama beat Auburn, I'm sure that ain't sitting well with the pastor. But he, right? He's the same way. He gets it.
yes,
He gets it. All
I
right.
know.
Wow, it's really good to see Pam G in there. She's a homegirl here in Minnesota, and I have a handful of nice subs who do show up regularly for this. And we cover a little. We don't. I don't cover just biblical cosmology. I mean, I've got 7 deadly truths that I call them, which were once I got the biblical cosmology download, the the rest poured out, and I went,
Yeah.
my, oh my,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
another, and then another, and all of them. You know what I get more than more vitriol, more anger, more angst, more hatred from more than biblical cosmology?
What's that?
God's natural order.
Huh?
God and Christ, Christ and man, man over woman, woman over children, and the man as the head of the household? His wife.
People do not like being told what to do. I mean, we are rebellious in our core.
Amen.
Rebellion is the thing, and it is the sin that kind of predicates all other sin. All other sins are predicated
Yeah,
on, and I think that it is the hardest thing in the world is for people to be, even though it's what they need to do, and
sure.
they a lot of these people wouldn't argue with a doctor if they told them you need to do this or you need to do that. But man, you tell them something about, hey, here's how it is
Right.
spiritually, or
Yep.
even if they're claiming to be Christians, boy, boy, they'll kick at it. It's that rebellious spirit.
Yep.
And I've got it. I mean, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I mean, I'm always having to fight my own nature about rebellion and things like that. It's you catch yourself off guard with it. I mean, because up here I know, but then in here it's like, wait a minute. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Yep. And it is and that's the great thing we get from Dean. Listen, God bless both these pastors for doing this thing today.
Yep.
And for those who are here who don't know, even though it's a test, right?
Yep.
We're gonna the thing will air. Is Dean gonna do a live feed too, or is he setting up his stuff, or is he gonna depend on
I
Locke's
don't
feed?
know. I don't know. As far as I know, the only one I know of is this is going out on Locke's channel.
Okay.
He's the one with this got, according to him, I haven't checked it exactly, over 3 million subscribers or whatever. So
Yeah, I think it's closer to
that's a big
2 million,
following.
but yeah,
Yeah.
give or take a million. Okay. Uh, yeah, but it's at six
What's a
o'clock.
million between friends, right?
Yeah, who's that was good, Dan. That was really good. Yeah, it's six
Uh,
o'clock today. It'll be on, I hope, on Facebook. That amazes me.
yeah,
Right.
that's what. Yeah, I think it will be on Facebook, and I think it'll be, yeah, 4 o'clock out here in California,
Right.
6 o'clock your time,
Yes.
5 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yep. No,
Yep.
7 o'clock on the East Coast. 6 o'clock Central.
Sorry,
Four
7. You're
o'clock
right.
out
Goes
there.
the other way. You're right. Goes the other way.
You got Lex Dexick on me there.
Yeah,
Big
boy, it's
big shooter.
I am I majored in history. That's how much math I know.
All right. PK said in the chat that it's going to be on Dean's deanodal.org as well. I'm assuming deanodal.org will
Okay,
have it.
perfect.
Hey, let me say hi to a couple of folks here who popped in for this test. This is only a test. Here's the game plan. Dan Weston from California was kind enough to join me for the test. He'd be more than welcome to come back at 4 o'clock my time, which is, I don't know what time your time, in 3 hours. If you want to come back, you're more than welcome. If you don't, we'll talk afterwards.
Sure.
Because I got plenty of clips and plenty of stuff, because this ain't our first FE rodeo. And
No.
we're actually, when I had a chance briefly, like you had said too, before we did this little test, that you had, talked with Dean, and I had spoke with Nancy. I leave Dean alone when these things are going on. I mean, I didn't communicate with him for however long he ran for governor, because I thought I got nothing to contribute other than encourage him and say keep going, keep going. But I would drop a line to Nancy real quick and say, just tell him we're praying for him, and we don't want him to give up the battle. Stay strong in the faith and do what's required. And he always has. This has been the wonderful thing about him. He always has. And
very consistent.
nobody agrees with anybody right down the line, point to point to point to point, theologically speaking. Do you agree with that, Dan, or not?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think
Okay.
there's always going to be, that's you're right.
So the nice thing is try to find one that you instead of having this many things that you agree or disagree with, how about this many? And I'd be hard pressed to find anything that I don't agree with Pastor Odell, but I guess if I had to look hard, I could find something. I don't know.
I'm the same boat. I am the poster child for skepticism with ministers and whatnot after my years of experience with them, and I don't have any problems with Dean.
Yeah, me neither. And nothing but prayers and support and encouragement for him and his wife and his little girl. I don't think she's little anymore, but I know they always travel as a family, and that's a
Yep.
blessed thing. That's a wonderful thing. He doesn't
Yep.
run off and do stuff on his own all the time. Listen. We're told to be a light of the world, salt of the earth. You got to take one guy and push him out front. And boy, oh boy, are we blessed to have a pastor like that.
I agree. I
So
agree.
anyway, that's that. We're building a small audience. I hate to dump the test. We're almost to double digits.
Wow, pretty good.
I'm sure Jaron will start his live chat at 25,000 people are watching Jaron
Yeah.
Nella. And Dave Weiss will be there too. And Dean did shock me a little bit. I guess I think this is correct that Whitsit's there on this panel. Whitsit gets it is there on this panel. Did you hear that?
Uh, Witsit. I'm not sure who that is.
Okay. Well, he's a brainy kid, but any follower of this channel knows that when I need to learn fallacy definitions, when I need to understand Euclidean versus non-Euclidean, when I need to understand elevation angles, when I need to understand them, I go to Flat Earth Debate and Quantum Eraser, and I don't go anywhere. I don't, because I don't have time to mess around. And like John QE says, we've been doing this for too long. I think these guys got in 15 or 16. I got in at 17,
Yeah,
and
same here.
it was
Yeah.
a battle, right? It was just a battle with these guys because we were all the idiots. Well, guess what? Just like we ran that piece with Owen Morgan there, he just assumed that Greg Locke would be the flat earther.
Yeah.
Someone needs to tell Owen Morgan that we live in an Isaiah 5:20 world. Good is evil and evil is good. And what's the truth and what's bitter and what's sweet? And wait, Greg Locke supporting the planet. So in a strange way, and that when we come back live here after this test, this is one of the clips and the features is that God is confusing the atheist, the agnostic, the nihilist, the lukewarm. He's confusing them right now because it doesn't make any sense. People don't know who Dean is for the most part. I mean, our community does. People who are in biblical cosmology know exactly who Dean is. But
Exactly.
Locke and his circus tent, he probably does have 2 to 3 million followers. So everyone is assuming that, which is a terrible thing to say.
This is going to be a slam dunk for Locke.
Yeah, and that now what do they do? Now what do they do? Right?
Well,
So
they'll know who Dean is after today. I can tell you that for nothing.
It's going to make them think, right? It's going to make them think. All right. Well, that was a quick 20-minute test. Dan, I'm gonna wrap this up. Stay on the line,
You
and
got
then
it.
you and I'll chat after this is over. Oh, we're one away from double digits. Isn't there one person? Read Romans 10 is in here. PK's in here. Where's Tony Forrester? He's always in here. Where's West Coast Watchman? Where are all these guys? It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Everybody works on Saturday. Took a while to get set up, like clay under the seal. That was another benefit too. That do you hear what that Owen Morgan said? I got to read the
Yes.
book. I got to read the book. How many people are going to say, I got to read the book? Like clay under the seal, I got to read the book. Yeah, that'd help.
Yep, I wish. And the funny thing is they gave Greg Locke a copy of that at Skyfall, and he said he'd read it, and he never did. At least not until. I mean, he might have read it now. I don't know.
Well, unless he cancels the thing, because if you read the book, you cancel the event.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Otherwise, it'd be like if I told you were a fool and you wrote a book on everything you believe and backed it up with documentation, with evidences, proofs, citation, sources, resources, everything. I'd be calling you and going, "I'm sorry," but anyway. All right, we're dropping numbers. We'll wrap it up. Stay put, Dan. Thank you very much.
You
Thank
got
you
it.
very, very much. Like we said, this ain't our first Flat Earth Rodeo. So it was kind of a fun test. I got to get a nap in. I'm an old guy. Plus, I got to wake Margaret up. She's already got her Christmas hat on, and the moose has been wandering around Minnesota. I got him back in too. So it's kind of good to shake the dust off and get back to doing God's work. So my thanks to Dan and everybody who came in the chat. This has only been a test. The goal is to come back at 4 o'clock Central Time. It's 1 o'clock, 1:12 now Central Time, my time. And we'll see if we can't invite a couple other folks on as well. If you want to be invited on, let me know through Messenger. It's the quickest way. Just to send a link and you pop it on, and I think it's pretty simple and easy. So this is going to be a great day for conversation. So drop me a little DM, PM, whatever they call it, whatever the kids call them, on the messenger, and we'll see what we can't do here. All right. So God bless y'all, and let's try to get out of this thing as soon as we possibly can. Here's an old battle we used to fight with these guys. Here we go. All right, I'm out of here. Goodbye, bye, everybody.
It's mostly just about why would a person believe this anyway? What's leading a person into this mindset, and what do you do about it? And I think it's important to remember that people believe things for reasons. They're not always great reasons, but there is something that causes a person to take certain interpretations. And the flat earth thing is like a lot of other conspiracy theories. It is rooted in something that's real but misunderstood. So it is in the conspiracy theory standpoint.
There's always someone walking among us who has nefarious objectives. and will use some of our greatest technology for the unraveling of civilization. That's always been the case.
Thanks a lot for searching that out, man. Appreciate that. Fisherman in the Box. Fisherman in a Box.